We've never seen this before. A secret gathering by the New York Knicks led to one of the biggest wins in their recent franchise history. While Tom Thibodeau deserves a ton of credit, meanwhile, Boston Celtics president and former coach Brad Stevens just shaded the New York Knicks. So we have a lot to talk about, guys. What's up? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you are part of that 72% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, you guys have been killing it. We just hit 14,000 subscribers. We're already at 14.7K. We're on that grind, trying to get to 15K before the playoffs end. Let's keep it up. Let's keep going, and let's talk some New York Knicks basketball, because what we've seen out of this team has been very up and down throughout the regular season. There was a lot of talk about how the Knicks actually regressed from last season after the moves they made. Their bench got worse. Their starting five didn't have the spark that it used to, and Knicks fans all did fear this somewhere in the back of our minds. I mean, I tended to err on the side that this was the better team, but there was that bit of fear in me. And for a lot of us, we saw the Boston Celtics and the Knicks playing in the second round as a bad stroke of luck that would likely lead to the New York Knicks getting bounced in the second round. However, as we know, that did not happen. The Knicks eliminated the Boston Celtics in 6 games. And look, it was not the easiest series, obviously. The Knicks had to make 2 20-plus point comebacks. They dropped Game 3 in a very ugly fashion. They won Game 4, which was, up until Game 6, the best game they had played against the Celtics. Game 5 against the Celtics was probably the worst game they played against the Celtics. And then Game 6 was one of the greatest wins in Knicks franchise history. There's no way around it. As we know, the Knicks don't have too many championships or too much success. The last 4 times they've been in the conference finals will date back to 1994, and all 4 times were against the Indiana Pacers. So the Knicks, their history has not been great, especially recently. It's actively not been good. Since the year 2000, they've made the playoffs 8 times, 9 times. So this has not been a successful franchise, but this team has been successful. And this specific Knicks team has had more success than anyone since the year 2000. And now they have a chance to go to the NBA Finals. And a secret meeting was what caused all of this, as Fred Katz revealed something that nobody really had heard about before. The day after Wednesday's 25-point defeat to the Boston Celtics, a could-have-been elimination game that extended the Boston Celtics season a superfluous 48 hours, the Knicks players, and only the players, met at the team's practice facility in Tarrytown, New York. That's where the locker room leaders presented a message. Performances like that one in Game 5, when the Celtics outplayed, out-hustled, and outthought the Knicks, were unacceptable. They discussed the communication issues that plagued them, why guys weren't picking up the right Celtics in transition, and why the defensive execution, which had been clean for much of their second round series, turned into a mess for one night at TD Garden. Now, it's important to note there was a big issue with that Knicks transition defense specifically. The Knicks got outplayed by the Celtics in every sense of the word. There was nothing they did better than the Celtics that night. I mean, I guess bleed from your eye. Shout out Josh Hart for that, but in all seriousness, the Knicks didn't do anything better than the Celtics in this Game 5. We saw them trying to pick up their man specifically and leaving guys open and not helping on defense, playing a selfish brand of basketball but that this team is just not built around. And Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, they are the 2 vocal leaders of this team, specifically Brunson. He is the captain. He's the guy who is the director of this ship, and Josh Hart's the second in command. Now, other guys will speak up. Karl-Anthony Towns, a longtime NBA veteran who's known to be vocal, has no problem speaking up. Guys like Deuce McBride have been on the Knicks for a bit. Mikal Bridges is new here, but still, he's got influence. So we know that at least Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Karl-Anthony Towns certainly spoke up about this. They're all guys who have seen success. I mean, Brunson and Hart, a ton of success with the Knicks. Brunson and Towns have both been to the Western Conference Finals before, so this team knows how to get to the Eastern Conference Finals because of that. So you look at this, and it's excellent to see what this team did. And the next game, what we saw was the switch defense that was working more. We saw Tom Thibodeau coach the team differently as well. Tibbs came in with a revitalized game plan where they were going to switch. You're just going to pick up the nearest man. You're going to stop them. And it worked. And the Knicks won by the largest deficit, or by the largest margin in their franchise history in an elimination game. It's really, really important that the Knicks, after getting blown out by 25 points, made the Celtics look like they had no business being in the NBA playoffs at all. Now, I understand Porzingis wasn't healthy. Jason Tatum was out. with the Achilles injury. I'm aware of that, but still, it was a good Celtics team. As I said, after Tatum got injured, the series was not over because the Celtics are still really good. They were still a talented team from top to bottom. They still had a good bench. They still had great players. They still had Jalen Brown, who's an all-star. They had Derek White, who's a near all-star. They had Al Horford, who's a veteran and knows how to get... He just knows how to win with the Boston Celtics. And I mean, Drew Holiday's an NBA champion 2 times. So we're looking at the Celtics team, and Tom Thibodeau did an excellent job coaching against them. It was across the board a phenomenal job done by the Knicks. And Jalen Brunson said, that whole day of Game 5, it just wasn't us, and we knew that. We reflected on it, and we came back, and we said we need to be ready. We need to be better. The way we prepared, the way we talked out there, the way we made it an emphasis to have each other's back and to continue to cover for each other. Focus on the little things, and we did that, and the Knicks did. And as Fred Katz mentioned, Josh Hart, who's never the problem when it comes to effort, set that tone early after this meeting, chasing after rebounds and rushing the basketball up the court to get the Knicks into their offense in place. When the Knicks reach a crossroads, as they've done various times this season, Hart goes into facilitator mode. Mikal Bridges knocked down shots from the beginning and fought hard on the perimeter. OG Anunoby bolted back on defense every opportunity. He clogged up driving lanes from all angles. Karl-Anthony Towns battled down low, posted out more, and prioritized getting more three-pointers in transition. A clever way for him to toss up deep shots, which had been lacking against Boston. All of this, everything the Knicks did, what it led to was exactly what they said in their players-only meeting. This is what you want to see out of a championship team. A team that has a terrible loss, has this cohesive unit that shouldn't ever lose like that. They meet about it, say this is unacceptable, this is not who we are, and we will not stand for this. This is not last year's Knicks team where the vibes got broken because someone had an epic fart in the locker room. This is a team that's buttoned up, that's professional, that's sort of do-your-job-esque squad. It's what Leon Rose likes. We've seen it. We see that this is the team that Leon's wanted to put together, and it's working out so well so far. So it's really important to see this. Now, on top of all this, it was mentioned that by Fred Katz that Tom Thibodeau deserves credit too, which he does. The veteran coach revamped the Knicks' defensive identity during that Boston series, engineering a defense that switched far more than it had all season. The change in style confused the Celtics in games 1 and 2, which included a couple of 20-point comebacks. Boston rarely looked comfortable in the series, in part because how physical the Knicks have become. Now, for a team like this to be physical after there was some fear about it, it showed everything we need to see. This team still has the same heart that they did last year, even if they have a different roster on it. They still are the same gritty team that's willing to battle it out and is not afraid of getting that dirty work done, where the Boston Celtics are a team that's very formulaic and is not a physical group. So the Knicks used that. They made the Celtics uncomfortable. They put them in situations that they hadn't found themselves in, and it worked really well to the point where the Celtics got eliminated by the New York Knicks, something that nobody expected to come, and it had a ripple effect, to say the very least. Brad Stevens, he was not too happy about this whatsoever. He was pretty crushed in his exit interview when he was discussing everything that was happening before they entered the offseason. What's going to be a tumultuous offseason for the Boston Celtics as well, with many trades coming because of their salary cap situation. And Brad Stevens took time to talk about the things that matter most to the Celtics. Losing to the Knicks, that is. He said, listen, the reality is we blew the first 2 games, right? And that's why we put ourselves in a tough spot. I realize, and we all realize, listen, these leads go fast. These games go fast. But we had our opportunities, and yes, you can win when you're down 2-0. But you're just diminished, and your margin for error, the Knicks are peaking. You can see it. First of all, we haven't even begun to peak. And when we do, all of the NBA will feel it. I really hope you got that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. I tried to get a clip of it, but it wasn't loading, unfortunately, which is a shame. But look, the New York Knicks, they beat the Celtics because they were better. They didn't look like on paper they were going to be better. I didn't think they were going to be better. In fact, I thought the Knicks were going to lose. They didn't. They were better. The Knicks were the better team through and through. They looked better. They looked more comfortable. They looked like they wanted it more. And the Celtics kind of just played. They went through the motions, and they didn't have it. And a team that routinely goes to the conference finals without really any second thought about it, probably figured, yeah, well, we always get to the conference finals. What's the big issue? We lost to that Brooklyn Nets team that was stacked up and healthy against us, and then we lost to a Bucks team that won the NBA Finals. Big whoop. It's whatever. We'll get back there. It's the Knicks. We could beat them. We beat them 4 times. That's how the Celtics approached this series. It's evidently clear that that's what happened, and things took a left turn for them, and here we are. And now the Celtics, they're saying, or Stevens is saying, the Knicks have peaked, but we look at this Knicks payroll. Yeah, there's a lot of high money being paid to players and high contract values and stuff, but look, Towns, OG, they're under contract for another 4 or 5 years. Brunson's under contract for another 5 years. Mikal Bridges is going to sign an extension, and we have a video coming out on that very soon, maybe even today. We have Josh Hart, who's under contract for a bit more. We have not Mitchell Robinson. His contract's coming to an end, and there is going to be some stuff about that in the offseason. Deuce McBride's on a great deal. The Knicks are fine right now. The Celtics, however, they're a lot less fine. And we're going to make this bigger because I have to show you guys something. Look. As we see, Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum are locked up to that 2029-2030 season. Jason Tatum's actually locked up for another year as well after that. So, if he just accepts that player option, obviously. But look, Jrue Holiday is on a massive contract as well. Jalen Brown's contract is for 35% of the Celtics salary cap. Jason Tatum's is 31.6. Move down to Derek White. That's 23. We're already at 76%. 76 plus 23 is 99. Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis make more money than Derek White as well, who Derek White, along with Tatum and Brown, make over 99% of the Celtics salary cap, meaning the Celtics will not have any plus money anytime soon. Pritchard is on a contract that's very, very good value. Al Horford is not going to be able to be afforded to come back. Even if he takes a minimum, things are going to get weird. They're basically going to have to trade Sam Hauser because there's no other option. But Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, both of those guys, at the very least, they're gone. And things have gotten a lot crazier for the Celtics outside of that. Let's look at the Celtics apron situation. How's that doing? Oh, not good? Well, the first apron space, the Celtics don't have that for multiple years. The first time they'll actually have first apron space is in 2 seasons from now, so that's great for them. Or I guess 1 season now for them because they're in the off season, so they're not in a season right now. On top of that, it still is technically the same calendar year though. It's still July, so it is 2 seasons, but I just wanted to make fun of them. On top of that, we see second apron. They are $20 million over that second apron next season. The Knicks aren't. The Knicks, with all the complaints about the salary situation, they're over the second apron right now, and they're going to be $8 million over the second apron. And on top of that, PJ Tucker's going to get traded. So that's another $3 million off of their books. That's $11 million away from that first apron. Or from that second apron, excuse me. They'll be close to out of the first apron at that rate. Sucks to not have Brock Aller, Brad. Great job. On top of all that, guys, it's just really funny to see this because the Celtics are acting like they're the ones who think the Knicks are peaking when Bill Simmons, resident Celtics fan, is out there saying that Fred VanVleet, Jabari Smith, and Tari Eason with pick 10 is a good idea to trade for when you trade away Jalen Brown and Jrue Holiday. So you're peaking. You guys are on the cusp of losing Jalen Brown while these guys are on the cusp of making the NBA Finals. Who's peaking, Brad? Let me know. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Sorry, these videos keep running long. It's an exciting time as a Knicks fan. We're trying to add more content to these videos to make them better. Hope you guys are enjoying. What do you guys think of these longer videos? Do you like them or you want me to go back to 8 minutes? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.